If you consider yourself to be an introvert and you struggle with social anxiety in certain situations, for example, you have to order food or to ask someone for directions or to even express yourself around your friends, then you're missing out on so much fun. I have a theory, a Bros-Ions made up theory, but it's pretty interesting, so hear me out. Think back of the moments when you were a child and you used to play with other friends of yours, with other kids, with toys, or even with your parents. You used to play with the toys, you used to create these stories with dragons and knights and who knows where your imagination took you. The thing is, you had so much fun, you were vibing, you were taking charge of the situation of the story, then another person took charge and you played along, you improvised. You were having the time of your life. You can probably remember those moments, and they are probably quite nice memories. Well, I think that the same parts of your brain that got activated and filled with pleasure back then would get activated and filled with pleasure right now if you manage to actually talk to people more freely. Now, that is a pretty optimistic scenario. That's a pretty optimistic premise indeed. But that's something I found for me. And the reason I'm talking to people a lot more right now and I'm a lot more social is because I'm having fun. I'm having so much fun since I opened my eyes up to this truth. And every single one of us is different, but there is a chance that the same thing is applicable to you. And the things I'm doing right now basically is I'm just engaging conversations with people, even with strangers, when we are in common social environments. And I'm just saying the things I want to say. I'm just trying to please myself. I'm not trying to get something from them. I'm just trying to have fun and to see if they want to join in to have fun with me at the same time. And how, you might be wondering, how does this work? How do you initiate a conversation? What do you say? What's the most appropriate and the most smooth way to approach someone and to engage in such conversations? It doesn't really matter. You have something in common in every single situation you're in. You are in the same environment, there are the same things happening around you, and you both have two legs. You both have, hopefully you both have two legs. But you both have eyes and hair, and you can make a lot of remarks about a lot of really stupid things, and you'd be surprised at how well people react to them. Now, of course, there is a more weird way to approach the situation and a more smooth way. You could just go to someone and stare them in the eyes from a very short distance and just be like, "You have two eyes. Wow." They're probably gonna be creeped out by you. But you can also make it a bit more interesting, "Wow, the color of your eyes is so interesting, I haven't seen it before. What's your name?" And you play along from there, and you ask them something about them, maybe they ask you something in return. And from there on, you can just start talking about the things you actually want to talk about, and even making more remarks about the things they are saying, remarks that are genuinely making you laugh inside. But in order for this to happen, it's gonna be impossible to get to this point if you fear judgment and if you are trying to perform and reach a certain bare minimum that you have in your mind for yourself, right? So let's say you expect yourself to get a certain amount of validation from this specific interaction. That ruins it all completely. Because when you are trying to go for validation, you are approaching the situation not from a place of you being yourself and trying to have fun, but from a place of trying to get the other person's validation. I need it, I need it, I need it, give it to me. And that needy energy is exactly what kind of gives them a bit of an ick. They're just there's something kind of like this person sucks. I don't know what it is, but I just don't want to interact with that person anymore. You don't want that. And you might hear this advice online, which is very good advice of just be yourself and just talk to people about the things you want to talk about. But it's a lot easier said than done, indeed, because if you have these viruses in your mind that are trying to manipulate you all the time and whisper literally evil and detrimental thoughts in your ears, then it's gonna be impossible. So how do you get from a point where your mind is literally bullying you all the time to a point where you can shine, to a point where you can just play around, be yourself, and improvise? A thing I found extremely useful, for me at least, is watching the American social pranksters. So that was Epic, Big Dose TV, and like Angry Picnic, I think that's why it's called, and like Steven Shapiro. There are a lot of these pranksters. They just make like weird social situations and cringe interactions and a lot of social exposure basically. And I watched quite a lot of that content, honestly. And for me, who I started from a place of being extremely reserved and introverted all the time, that did me wonders. Because when you're watching something, and this is applicable for anything you would be watching, like it might be a movie, a TV show, like even scrolling on TikTok, on Instagram, these things literally change your brain. So if you want to purposefully change yourself or purposefully brainwash yourself, watch some content that would bring value to your life. Let's take another example. Let's say you really don't care about fashion whatsoever. If you start purposefully watching videos of people that are into fashion and that present fashion advice, then you're automatically gonna start getting those random urges throughout the day of being more fashionable as well, of putting some more effort into the way you're dressed, of purchasing some more items, some more clothes. And it works the same with absolutely everything. This is how like marketing people and companies get into our heads as well. They plant these little seeds here and there. And the more you see these hints throughout the day, through the ads and whatever, the more you will randomly tend to think about their product. Why wouldn't you brainwash yourself in the same way with a pursuit you actually want to make progress in, which might be your social life? So this could be a bit of a mission for you right now, to replace the random content consumption you're going through with content consumption that is more purposeful and more helpful to you. Now, these guys are doing stuff that's really triggering, like especially if you're a very, how can I say it, very much on the introverted spectrum. It's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be really a lot and really cringe and really awkward. And you might even be like, oh, I can't watch this anymore. This is too awkward. But stick with it and try to iterate, try to go through them and to see which type of video, which type of content actually resonates with you truly, because obviously you have your own individual personality and you have to find something that's tailored to you. Now, if you go through this practice, you might find that you start getting these urges to be more like those people. Like you're brainwashing yourself with content of people that are extremely social and talking to strangers as if they would be just talking to themselves. You will automatically start being like that yourself, because you are the average of the 5 content creators whose content you consume. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with as well. And in the social media era, it's applicable definitely to the influencers you're watching. So leverage that. When you get a random urge to talk to a certain person at the gym, at a grocery shop, wherever the place might be, in the bus station, just say that thing that popped up in your mind. It doesn't really matter what it is. You could make a remark about the sky, about the weather, about yourself, about the other person, about someone that walked by, about the cat that's literally licking its ass right there on the right side. It doesn't matter. What you say is not important. What's the most important thing is to honor your authentic urge of talking to people. And you need, you need to brainwash yourself. Because if you've been introverted since forever, since the day you were born, then it's very hard for you to believe that you can really have fun right now. And the only way that you will open your eyes and see that that ability that you had back when you were younger to just play and have fun and vibe with people, you can recreate it right here, right now, through words, through talking to them. And it doesn't have to be scary. It's scary at the beginning. It's scary when this muscle of talking to people is not trained enough. But as you're going through these pursuits, as you talk to more and more and more people, it's gonna be a lot easier. Now, a tip that I found very, very useful as well is to try to open your mouth as soon as you get the thought. Like, as I said, trust me, please trust me. It doesn't matter what you're talking about. It doesn't matter like the topic that initiates the conversation. It doesn't matter whatsoever. The only thing that matters is your energy. And if you try to optimize the thing that you're about to say in order for it to fit the circumstances and to make it as smooth as possible, to just iterate and iterate and iterate until you get the version of it that makes total sense in your mind, you're already lost. You have to open your mouth and speak instantly. That's the only way people will receive it appropriately. Otherwise, as I said, they will get a bit of an ick at least, because there is something weird about you. You're not just being yourself, being a human and putting your authenticity out there. You are operating like a robot according to a certain script. And people get weirded out by robotic people, right? You've probably encountered them throughout your life as well. There is something weird about some interactions with some people. You don't want to be that person. The most charismatic people alive, the most charismatic friends of yours, are literally saying the most random and dumb things that pop up in their minds. And they just flow with it. They just improvise. They just go along. They say stupid stuff all the time, but it doesn't really matter. People forgive them because they have the proper energy, because they don't overthink about this, because they are just able to flow. But I don't want you to have a bare minimum, like these expectations of yourself that you have to be flowing all the time from now on, because that's gonna be impossible. So getting to the point where you can flow and when you can literally play along with it, that is the ultimate goal, let's put it that way. I'm not even there myself. I still overthink sometimes, and I've been talking to quite a lot of people recently in the last year or so. I still overthink sometimes. I still catch myself in the habit of trying to optimize the thing that I'm gonna be talking about. And I know it's not good, but I'm trying to become better and better and better and more present and less in my mind. And you have to be on the same pursuit as well if you want to get to the point where you can have so much fun socially as we talked about. But you have to start really slow. So don't judge yourself. Just observe the mistakes you're making and just take those mistakes as pure information, as pure data. This is something I can improve on logically. It doesn't diminish the person I am. I'm not a worse human being because I made this mistake. This is just something for me to work on, right? Because you've probably been introverted and just used to be in your mind all the time for 20 years, more than 20 years. You're gonna need quite some time to unlearn that bad habit. So be patient and be persistent and keep brainwashing yourself with that type of content. And you'll see that automatically you will start becoming more social. And when you honor that authentic urge and when you put it out there as soon as it comes up, you will see that people don't hate you, that there's nothing wrong with you actually, and that most importantly, you can have so much fun. And that's exactly what I wish for you.